Hey Bets,
Hi, Dad.
what's going on?
So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to focus on gratitude, and we're also going to speak about the meanings of gratitude.
Okay, very interesting. Go for it, tell me.
So gratitude is something which we should always have in our country, and because you see our country, it's not poor and it's not rich, so we're just perfect. And you see, poor are they don't have food, and it's just sad basically. So we're thinking about how we should spend our life and what we should be thinking. So we shouldn't be thinking, oh dear, we can have more money, because we are perfect. We don't want to be, we don't want to be more than what we are now. I think because you see some rich people, get over the top and then they end up being rude, and same as poor. So I think we're perfect. Do you agree, Daddy?
I think it's a very interesting point. So are you saying that you don't believe money is that important? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just believe that love is just what you need. So I mean, even if I just get cheap food, I don't care. I just love my family.
I think you're right. I think that is
And
absolutely
friends.
correct. So money's useful, isn't it? We need money to buy things with, don't we?
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily make you happy, does it?
No, and once again, you see, like Dolly. There's a singer called Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
And she was quite poor. But guess what made me inspired?
Go on.
Even though she started off quite poor, she was still very, very grateful. And she didn't become rude. She was still herself. She wasn't angry, and she didn't, a bit like what toddlers do. She didn't scream and, get all upset. She just, carried on with her, singing job, and
That's true.
That's what inspires me, really.
She is quite inspirational, actually. I think Dolly Parton does quite a lot of things for other people, doesn't she? I think she has
And
Dollyland and
Dollyland
does work for charity, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Do you think that's important?
Oh, definitely, Daddy. I can't think of anything more kinder. That's what I always do. Hey, Daddy, I always sit out of my drive trying to sell bookmarkers or just pictures. Because you see, because we're thinking positive. Because this is Betsy's positive videos. Well, I was thinking, it's positive that because you see, sometimes I'm like, Daddy, I'm making these pictures. Can I go and sell them? And you're like, well, Betsy, don't expect too much money, because they're only pictures. But really, I don't really care. I just like to, say hello and all that. So that's that's why we need gratitude. That's why we need it. That's why that's what the air is. That's what all it means to me. Gratitude.
That's interesting. And what else are you... So you've mentioned love, so you think love's quite an important thing. What else are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for that we have a house.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we have a great community in our town.
Definitely.
And also grateful that we have a lovely family and friends.
I think that's really, really important. I think, do you know what? I think that's super important. So you've got community,
Yeah, I tell you what
friendship and
inspires
family.
me. My great-granddad
Does he really?
inspires me a lot.
That's fantastic. So you're grateful that you've got a great... Not only do you have granddads, but you have great granddad, don't you? How old's great granddad?
98!
Wow, that is so good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know why he's an inspiration for me?
Tell me.
Because even though he's very old, he still lives a happy life. And funny we're saying that, Daddy, because I've been listening to an audiobook about this grandpa. He's old, and obviously elderly people, forget things.
Yes, they do.
But you see, even though the grandpa was old, he still plays wars with his grandson Jack, which is, so he's got gratitude that he's got a grandson, because they're sometimes too busy to, like say grandpa. Well, they sometimes call him like Wing Commander. but when you see Jack said grandpa one day, like grandpa, really understanding. It was like, Jack, my grandson, which is, in that audiobook, which is,
What's it called? Just say what the audiobook's called for me.
Oh, it's called Grandpa's Great Escape.
Who wrote it?
David Williams, and he read it.
You love that, don't you?
Yeah, a bit like what's his name? Like Tom. So is it Tom? So he's in a band and he writes books.
That's right.
Tom. What's his name?
I'm not sure really.
The guy who does a band and is in and writes like kids' books.
I don't know,
I
sweetheart.
think it's something Tom, but
Is it Tom?
anyway.
Okay.
We're gratitude, but we're also very grateful. We got these musicians, and authors, and because if we didn't have these authors and bands, then there'll be no music. There'll be no stories. That's why we always need to have gratitude.
I agree. So if there are people out there that sort of are feeling a little bit, down and maybe a bit unhappy,
Yeah.
what do you think? What's your advice? How could they feel a bit more grateful for what they have? What would you say?
Well, I was thinking about. So you see, we know this man called Jim, don't we, Daddy?
Yep.
I guess where he drove us to.
Go on.
Disneyland.
He did, didn't he?
That was cool, wasn't it, Daddy?
It was fantastic.
Well, yeah, and he was a very fun guy. Well, I was thinking when this lockdown's over,
Yeah.
I wanted to travel all around the world. So I don't care how long it takes. I just want to make people happy. So I wanted to travel around the world, and Jim can drive us maybe in our taxi.
That would be amazing.
And I wanted to pack like a humongous bucket or bag full of food, and just people can help themselves to some food who are really poor.
Well, that is a beautiful thing, Betsy. I think maybe one day you will do that. That's a good
I
ambition.
think-
It's a good ambition to have.
Maybe what's quite a poor country which is quite near to us.
Well, there's not that many poor countries near to us, really,
No.
because we're quite lucky to live in a rich part of the world. But maybe if you went to Africa, there's some poor countries there.
Yeah. Now, Daddy, sometimes just travel all the way to Africa.
Yeah.
That would take quite a long while.
It would.
So maybe could you stop off at maybe a continent or another country and then travel from
Well,
there.
Africa is a continent. But yeah, one day I think you can do that.
So
You can fly there if you want.
If we wanted to travel to, well, imagine if we had our own aeroplane.
That would be good.
Well, actually, I mean, it'll take lots of money, but I'm wanting, after I earn some money from a YouTube channel, I'm wanting to buy an aeroplane, Daddy.
There you go, one step at a time, eh? So, wrapping up, tell me your last thoughts about gratitude for people at home.
Gratitude is what makes you live, to me.
Gratitude helps to make you live, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's a good mantra for life, yeah? Good
Yeah,
stuff. What
yeah,
do you want?
sure.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you feel, bad about, let down about gratitude, just watch this video or take a minute to reflect at yourself. Like, share, and subscribe.